rich and powerful, and he's lived a storied life, yet most Americans have never even heard of him. NBC's chief foreign affairs correspondent Richard Engel recently caught up with the elusive Agakhan. Hey, Richard, good morning.
Good morning, Ann. The Agakhan, he's one of the most fascinating people who I've ever met. He's like a head of state without a country. He's a religious leader. He's also doing some of the most important charitable work in the Islamic world.
Around the Islamic world, you'll see his works. In the restored monuments of Old Cairo, flanked by a new 74-acre park. In refurbished mosques in Africa, and even in the Afghan army. But you'll almost never meet the man responsible for it all. One of the richest and influential, but least known people in the Muslim world, the Agakhan. He told us this is the first interview he's ever given to an American television network.
I've always taken the attitude that it's better that the work should speak rather than the individual.
I met the Agakhan in Mali, a poor nation in West Africa. We sat in a park he just refurbished 600 miles south of Timbuktu. Here, like almost everywhere he goes, the Agakhan is working on cultural development. His goal is to showcase diversity in Islam and change an impression of a region most often known for wars, from Baghdad to Kabul. A region he recognizes many Americans find foreign and intimidating.
At the moment, it's the horrible conflicts which are dominating the image of the Islamic world. And I can say without one iota of fear that that is totally wrong. Totally wrong.
The Agakhan's personal history is as fascinating as the ancient works he preserves. 73 years old, the Agakhan is the leader of a Shiite Muslim faith with an estimated 12 to 15 million followers. To the faithful, the Agakhan is like a king and spiritual guide. They believe he's the direct descendant and legitimate heir of the Muslim prophet Muhammad. They call the Agakhan an imam, meaning leader.
And an imam in Islam is responsible for the security of the people who refer to him. He's responsible for the interpretation of faith, and he's responsible for their quality of life. So those three areas are areas which are my responsibility.
His followers, called Ismailis, live in more than 30 countries, many in Central Asia. Broadly, they're considered moderates. In fact, Al-Qaeda believes the Ismailis are a bitter enemy.
I've always referred to it as a conflict of ignorance, and I still believe that's the root of the problem.
Born in Switzerland, the Agakhan grew up in the spotlight. His grandfather was the last Agakhan.
The glamorous screen star and the heir to one of the world's most fabulous fortunes.
His father was married to the late film legend Rita Hayworth and was said to be one of the richest men of his day. But the current Agakhan, who assumed the role at 20 years old, was private. Sport was his passion. He skied in the 1964 Winter Olympics at Innsbruck, Austria. Ensconced among the international elite, he studied at Harvard, is fluent in 3 languages, was on the cover of Life magazine in 1958, and met President Kennedy at the White House. Today, the Agakhan remains very wealthy. The money comes mostly from the contributions of his followers, which he then redistributes liberally.
I think the first thing is to try to replace that fear of poverty and the pain that goes with it by some sense of hope in the future. That things don't have to be that way, that they can change.
Trying to change a region better known for war with development and culture.
The Agakhan's charities distribute about $450 million a year, much of it in areas where the United States has interests, including Pakistan and Afghanistan. Ann?
Richard Engel, that's a really fascinating profile. Thank you so much.